Taught, Week 4. Monday, September 5th, 2016, 3 p.m. Well, I'm putting the labor in Labor Day today. With each document I interpret and then fill out, my anxiety level jumps another notch. At one point, I had palpitations for 3.5 minutes. That doesn't sound like long, unless your heart is pounding uncontrollably, and then it's an eternity. Paulo texted me a picture of him and Mimi at the park around 1 p.m. I had been at work since 8 a.m. This made me instantly furious. Not at him, at my life. No matter how much hoop jumping I do, it's never good enough. I never make it to the top of the mountain. I just get to keep climbing and climbing and climbing. My student growth goals have been completed. There are 3 sets, and I need them all ready to go before my meeting tomorrow. One set is for a subgroup of students that I get to choose to collect data on for the school year. This requires me to go through 14 different reports that disseminate data, state test scores. Ultimately, I choose my students who have been identified as English language learners, ELLs. The group has such shitty state ELA scores that they can only improve this year. The next goal is for all of my students. I have to come up with some grandiose skill that will turn all of their lives around this school year. I choose self-monitoring, a fancy term for they will keep track of their own grades in a portfolio. And my final goal is a team goal, which means I should be choosing a goal that my ELA department will all be doing. Since I have no time to meet with any of them, I try to come up with something vague and intentionally immeasurable. Right now, the goal reads, encourage students to back up claims with evidence and reasoning in their writing. Hopefully everyone will be on board with this because here's the situation. I can't get a distinguished rating on my evaluation if my goals are not considered distinguished. My admin, Anita, will tell me tomorrow if the goals meet the mark. I will then have 24 hours to make adjustments, and then only after the evaluation will I find out if they were good enough. After student growth goals, I begin designing a unit that will actually be 2-part, one for the next few weeks and another to be taught in the spring when I get evaluated the second time. That's right, I get to go through this hell twice this year. I rapidly choose a few diagnostic tests to cross-reference with last year's state test scores. I will use these to begin grouping students. The biggest piece of the evaluation last year was the differentiation of instructional objectives to meet the needs of all learners. Basically, I have to ensure that each kid is learning at their push level. This is a term that an instructional coach for our district came up with 2 years ago. It vaulted her into a coveted Kansas State Department of Education job. No one has heard from her since. But we all still brag about how that term came from our district. Needless to say, it's hard to design a lesson or units that push all students when you have 8th graders that are performing at a 4th grade reading level and in the same class students that perform at a post-college level. And speaking of classes, I need to pick one to be observed. Well, any class except my 7th hour. That class has 15 boys and 8 girls, and I swear to God the counselors were laughing their asses off when they were putting that group together. We are one brawl away from being a behavior classroom. I'll request 3rd hour. By that point, I will have taught the lesson twice, and the current level of knowledge has the least range in that class, 5th through 9th. I can easily differentiate between 4 grade levels. For the love of all things holy, I have once again spent 20 minutes chronicling my workday rather than journaling. And this time, it was the work I did on my day off. So how do I feel about my day? Shitty and guilty. I miss my family. I miss being part of them. I don't want to think about school nonstop. And if I go down this path, I'm going to cry. So in summation, maybe it's just the first of the year load, and somehow I will figure out a way to better manage my time and focus. God, I hope I can figure this out. Tuesday, September 6th, 2016, 4 p.m. Yeah, I really don't even have the energy to talk about my meeting today. But for the sake of my daughter, I'm going to try to find a way to let school go and be present tonight. Still Tuesday, September 6th, 2016, 9 p.m. Holy shit. This thing definitely does not read like a story. Well, a story I would like to read. More like something Sylvia Plath would write if she were a teacher. And no one reads the bell jar unless forced to. Goodbye, Nobel Prize. Still Tuesday, September 6th, 2016, 9:05 p.m. Almost forgot. Louis smelled the same when he got to school today. It was clear that the laundry trip never happened. However, I had brought a pair of sweats, t-shirt, and a sweat jacket to school. I bought these over the weekend, just in case. Today we traded his stank clothes for the ones I brought. Chris Rahman, the 8th grade social studies teacher, wrestling coach, set it up for Louis to take a shower during his planned time in the gym, and he brought him a towel, shampoo, deodorant, and comb. He is a good guy, that Chris. I should nominate him for something, like an award, not more work. At the end of the day, Louis and I traded out again, the clothes I brought for his freshly washed ones, courtesy of the FACS class. They actually had to be washed a couple of times. Louis reluctantly took his newly washed items, and when he brought the shower items and athletic clothes back to me, he asked if he could keep all of them. I told him he certainly could, and that we would keep them at school for him until his family got the water going again. All of that happened before my meeting with Anita, which I still am not ready to journal about, but I did manage to be present for Mimi tonight, and I'm proud of that. We sang Old MacDonald for 45 minutes straight while using our limited farm animals to act the song out. She loved it, and we both got to go to bed happy on the family front tonight. Wednesday, September 7th, 2016, 4 p.m. After a night of Old MacDonald, snuggling Mimi, and watching Chopped until I fell asleep, I am now ready to unpack my meeting with Anita. The beginning of year conference is supposed to take an hour. Mine took 20 minutes. Suffice it to say, I am now required to rewrite all of my student growth goals and attach evidence as to why I chose them. Actual reports highlighted in red, yellow, and blue. By the way, Anita does not think it's funny when you suggest calling red, white, and blue, red, yellow, and blue primarily what we will teach. Get it? They're primary colors. Primarily what we will teach. Yeah, she was not amused. Also, apparently I was supposed to bring in my lesson plan because she assumed that her email about her schedule conflict made it clear that the fewer meetings, the better, and was hoping to combine the beginning of year and the pre-eval conference into one. Now, my meeting lasted 20 minutes because she had forgotten an ortho appointment for her son and had to cut our meeting short. I'm not sure how she expected to get both of those meetings accomplished in one, but she was a little put out with me for not reading between the lines. We agreed that I would make arrangements to stay late tomorrow and she would go over my lesson plan then. Then she told me she had concerns about my commitment to our team in the district. When I asked why, she stated that I leave early every day. When I emphatically denied leaving early, contract end time is 3:40 and I am in my car by 3:45 each day. She stared me down and said, "It's not about contract time. It's about priorities." And that statement clearly tells me what your priorities are. No one makes anyone stay past contract. Most teachers in this building do it for the kids because that's why they show up every day. I think it was the shock, combined with the exhaustion of creating student goals the day before, combined with the knowledge that I had to rewrite those damn things, that fuzzied my brain to the point that I could only stammer that my husband worked and I had to leave to get home and take care of my child. The meeting ended with her sighing and telling me that I just didn't get what she was saying. She was looking for a level of commitment that she wasn't sure I was willing to give. What the hell? Paulo's off tonight, and we're going out to dinner. Whole Foods salad bar, here we come. Screw Anita. So what if I'm not committed? I'm still a good teacher, and she'll see that when she observes me. And on that note, I'm going to enjoy my evening and gorge myself on salad and likely a tasty dessert. Thursday, September 8th, 2016, 4 p.m. Oh my God. Sometimes the things that happen at my school just amaze me, and not in a good way. So, I decided to do my lesson over backing up a claim with evidence. Since our district has finally embraced all things Common Core, and I have a great unit on debate happening in January, I feel this is a winning lesson. Of course, I will teach the hell out of this skill before my evaluation so that I and the students all look brilliant. But I felt pretty confident about it before I went in for my second meeting with Anita. Yes, the prior meeting had not gone great, but staying late and teaching a lesson were two different things, and I hope that she would also see it that way. When I walked into her office, two things struck me. One, she was in a better mood, and two, she had forgotten we were meeting. I really want to add again here, but I have no evidence that she actually forgot the other meeting. I'm no detective, but a purse with car keys on top combined with an individual shutting their computer down signifies leaving, and quite possibly accounts for the better mood. There was an awkward moment where her eyes flitted from my face to the files, books, and papers I was carrying, and realization slowly dawned on her face. Here's what kills me about Anita. She has two options at this point. Option one, admit her error, apologize, and move on. Or option two, continue to be the unlikable human being that she is and use her superiority complex to somehow make this not her fault. Of course, she chooses option two, and the good mood vanishes from every nuance of her. I'm not sure what is going through her head, but her ferocity sags into something tired, and she digs her cell phone out of her purse while completely ignoring me. I am then privileged to a series of short, terse conversations between her husband, and her oldest daughter, who is auditioning for American Idol this weekend, and apparently needed time in the studio to practice. The overall feeling I am getting from this conversation is the same one you get when you hear, or God forbid, see your parents having sex. You want to get away from it. All of a sudden, you're part of something that you have absolutely no desire to be a part of. In this case, I'm seeing a very human side of Anita, but God, what a picture. Her overindulged teenage and adult children and her henpecked, beaten down husband all being shoved through life by an exhausted but determined Anita who never lets the phony smile leave her face. In this moment, crammed in this small office, seeing the inside of her purse as she battles through her phone calls to family members, I realize I'm staring at the inside of her actual life. It all boils down to crumpled tissues. Jesus, how many tissues can you have in a bag? Sucrettes. No idea these were even still around. And a hairbrush. Because, hey, maybe you're crying and blowing your nose all the time, but that does not mean you can't still have nice hair doing so. Except she doesn't. Okay, that was mean. But it's true, and this is my journal, damn it. The rest of the meeting is spent with me explaining things that are right in front of her and her trying to find something wrong with my lesson plan. But she is doing it in a resigned way, not with her usual aggression. We choose Monday, which would never be my choice. So really, she chose Monday for my eval. Third hour. Yes! Still September 8th, 2016, 4:45 p.m. Paulo was only an hour late for work due to my meeting today. He's so nice to ask to go in late to help me out. As he kissed me on his way out the door, he informed me he would not be home for dinner to make up the time he missed by going in late. As we were in our usual afternoon changing of the guard rush, I couldn't express my dismay at not being able to see him today. Mimi threw her head back and howled like her little heart was broken when he closed the door. I picked her up, but she was inconsolable, repeating that she wanted Daddy. Since I too wanted Daddy, I began crying also. How did things get so far off track? After our little cry fest, Mimi and I ordered pizza, because pizza brings joy. And Amy called and said that tomorrow is the day. Finally, I can use her name in conversation again without fear that somehow the fact that she is pregnant will escape from my mouth. And I can work into my conversations that I was actually the first to know. She did not go with the maple bar idea. She ordered pink and blue donuts and asked me to pick them up since the bakery she ordered from is on my way to work. She also asked me to put them in the staff room because she's too embarrassed. I just love this. I do not have to be pregnant, nor do I have to spend any money, yet I get to reveal a secret, eat donuts, and be part of drama that will have no negative effects for me. Kelly better watch herself because Amy is on her way to becoming my new best friend. Know what else brings joy besides pizza? Donuts. Friday, September 9th, 2016, 4 p.m. It's Friday, Friday, Friday. I'm not going back until Monday, 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 because it is Friday, Friday, Friday. Today was amazing. I was the center of attention as Amy's pregnancy announcement donut delivery person. I lost count of how many donuts I actually consumed today. In addition to the pink and blue donuts, Amy had ordered donut holes that were pastel colors and a special maple bar just for me. And last night, I said there would be no negative side effects for me, but I forgot about indigestion, which I still have.